Welcome to Talking Tech, our new web series where we talk with Hillsborough teachers about their experiences with virtual teaching and learning. I'm Todd McDonald, the Technology Integration Coordinator.
Hi, I'm Jim Smart, one of the computer support teachers at the high school. Today we're talking tech with two coaches about how they're using technology to keep in touch with their players in the off-season as we navigate through the situation. Today we are delighted to have head coach Eric Puma and his assistant Fernando Vera, the coaching staff of the Hillsborough soccer team, to explain what they're doing. Hi guys. Why don't we start out by having each of you introduce yourselves. Let's start with Coach Puma.
Good morning. My name is Eric Puma. I teach English at the high school to juniors and seniors. As Jim said, I coach the varsity coach for the boys varsity team.
I'm Fernando Vera. I'm a Spanish teacher at the high school. I'm the assistant varsity coach for boys soccer.
So, Coach, I know it can be difficult to keep in touch with players in the off-season to begin with, but I imagine it's much more difficult without being able to contact them in school. I know you guys are using a couple of different tools to bridge this gap. Can you tell us what you're doing and how it's working out?
Sure. As you said, we don't see the players, the students in the hallways, in the commons. You have those little interactions with them that build relationships, and just check in with them, even if it's not on a daily basis, maybe even on a weekly basis. So we don't have that. So our challenge is to continue to develop relationships with the players, stay connected to them, and also for them to stay connected to one another. So we've been using a couple of different, resources. We've been using Classroom. We've been using Google Sites and Google Meet, all in different ways, just to stay connected to the kids and have them stay connected to one another. This is really important for them. This isn't really about soccer. This is more about relationships. And I've said a couple times that relationship building and team building is something that often falls by the wayside, because as coaches we get so focused on X's and O's and practicing the game itself that we lose track of that. So this is an important time to build those relationships. So we check in with the boys in several different ways, and Coach Vera will talk a little bit more about that specifically.
So this actually started before all this pandemic. Coach Puma and I had worked on, creating ways to connect with the students before we got to the summer, so that we were able to get them engaged and maybe be a little more fit before the summer, so that we were a little ahead of maybe other teams. We had decided that we were going to create a site, also show in a second, that we would allow us to get the kids engaged, create almost like a challenge out of it, a game out of it, so that they were motivated. And this pandemic hit, and so we were set up much better than we would have thought of, because it was already set up. And so here I'll present what we created, and I'll show you some of the things that we were able to do. All right, so a lot of it is we took the branding that we had already from our badge to the colors and that kind of stuff. We already had Twitter, so we were able to integrate that into the site. So trying to reach out to the players and to the general public. So when we created this, it was originally to get as much information out there as possible. We then used it to create, I'll show you what the challenge page looks like now, and this was for the one that's finishing up now. It's keeping track of their running so that they get some fitness in and some core work, and students were able to, and players were able to get, we call badges. So if they finish the work, they would be able to earn these different things. This was a playing challenge, get, again, more core work, stuff they could do at home without much trouble. We gave them a video for them to know how to do proper form, and they were able to earn these different badges. And after that, we would tally it all together and give them things they earned and they worked not only individually as players, but we also kept track of classes. So the sophomores and juniors did an excellent job in April. So that's kind of like what we did. So we created a game out of it, something that they would gravitate towards, and we got, we had excellent results. Kids were really motivated by it.
Fernando's been doing a lot of work with, this gamification, as he calls it, where they're like reaching different levels and tapping into their motivation. And what I've been talking about in the Google Meets on Fridays is more, just more, I guess, holistic, trying to focus on their health. We talk about, having healthy routines in terms of sleep, in terms of fuel, in terms of, limiting your screen time, staying connected to other people, not becoming isolated, so I use like a PowerPoint presentation while I'm talking, and it's only about an 8 or 10 minute talk, just to keep them engaged, but focusing on those elements of what makes them physically as well as emotionally and psychologically healthy during this time, which is very isolating. So if they can like connect to something bigger, like their athletic team and their program, we thought that would help them to stay healthy, to stay connected, to stay motivated. So, that's what I talk about in these Google Meets. And then, sometimes we do something fun, like next year, we're hopeful that we're going to get new uniforms. So like I'll show them pictures of some possibilities of new uniforms, and then we're going to send out a Google form and they'll vote to give them a voice. And so, we're trying to get them hopeful about the future. We certainly don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if we're going to have summer camps. And I'm very honest with them about that. Everything we're doing is not part of their tryout. This is just to, like I said, build relationships. It's all voluntary. No one has to do this. And, it's almost like a service to them to hopefully, keep them just healthy, just, doing well. So, we'll do different things like that. That's what, tomorrow's Family Friday is going to be about. We're going to talk about uniforms at the end and some of those same principles about staying healthy.
Well, that sounds great. It sounds like you guys are doing a real lot of stuff, which hopefully, as you said, will pay off in the fall. Thanks for joining us today, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, and I appreciate being on here with everybody. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, guys.